Wawanui. Okay, gang. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So we're going to see if this is actually going to work or not. I have no idea. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of hang out here for just a few, and I'm going to see if this is going to work. I don't have my headset on, so we're going to see if you can even hear me. And what I am hoping to do is I'm hoping to be able to do a live chat on here. And so I'm just going to hang loose. Hello. I know I'm just out of the blue here. However, just actually being able to arrive has been something of a monument. So let's just see if anybody can show up. And I just need to see if anybody can actually hear me before I get started. So if you're viewing, I don't know if you're capable of doing so. Yay, Paul. Okay, great. So you can hear me. Does it sound like I'm underwater again, like those stupid wave things again? Because while I have been gone, I have been attempting to get on for the shows. However, life has happened, and I can't begin to tell you not only how many military planes we have had in the area that's causing interference, but I also have a whole bunch of different. Okay, I'm going in and out. Hoping to be able to do. Let me see. I'll tell you what. I'm going to try the headset, and we'll see if the headset improves it. I have no idea if it will or not. It'll either make it a lot worse, and you won't be able to hear me at all, or it'll improve. That. And let me see if I can get plugged into my headset. Did that work? Did that work? Did that work? Okay, the laser sound thing again. I'm just gonna. I'm gonna scooch in real close here. I have an insane amount of interference on my end with the Wi-Fi. I have not only military planes, but I also have construction trucks at the quarry, and I also have logging vehicles. So they are logging the hillside behind my house, and so there has been so many times that I have tried to go in and do a live on here, and there's been no opportunity. I mean, there's like 10 zillion of us all trying for the exact same thing. So, okay, you can at least hear me now. Okay, great. Excuse me. I have a charming cough too. So, hello, hello, hello. How are you? I have not seen you in forever. Happy birthday, Karen. I know you've got a birthday coming up. So, happy birthday also to all of our Honus that are out there, because we have just now gone into the month of Honu. And that is, I know it's been a coon's age, a raccoon's age, as they say. So it's been a minute, as the Lemurians say. Oh, golly, golly. But yeah, um, really, really, really long time. I wanted to share because I've been to the beach, and obviously because I live at the beach, And so there's been a lot of things that I wanted to share with everybody, and then I haven't been able to share anything on here. I've also been kind of away and kind of on my own journey. So it's been a lot of gathering and internalizing and watching my energy stuff kind of upgrade and going through a lot of different goodbyes. There have been some goodbyes um, on my side, and I've had some hellos as well. So it's 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 the end of the year of the snake, the wood snake. So there was a lot of goodbyes and a lot of new comings in, and there's a lot of new coming in with the year of the fire horse as well. So I'm gonna just see if I can. I don't want to remove that. I'll see if I can load my slides onto the stage. They have changed things around on this, which is a little weird. I'm gonna remove that. Why is it only giving me the option to remove that? It's kind of great. Slide. Anyway, my birthday is the my birthday is the day after Mercury retro. That's actually great. Congratulations. Oh, I'm so sorry, Paul. So, oh my. Kidney failure. Had her for 13 years. That is a really beautifully long time. So your family dog passed away. Beautiful girl. That's sad. All I can say in that case, Paul, is just cry as much as you can for as many times as you need. And I'm sure once she gets rested up, there's every opportunity that you'll be seeing her around the house. Let's see. Boy, I leave and it's kind of crazy. They change things around on me. Let's see if I can- Yeah, StreamYard has actually changed things around here. What the heck with that? What I was going to show on this one, I'm going to show it again. So what you have here is the sun setting over the Pacific Ocean, and this was at Kilowana Beach, which is Cannon Beach, on the Oregon coast. And what I was filming in hopes of being able to show you, but there was not a green flash on this one. But what you're about to see, and do you see how that little tiny sliver, you see the tiny sliver of sun there on the horizon? Now, normally what's going to happen in a green flash scenario is as that dips down, you're going to see just the absolute last of that remnant. And then there is a huge emerald green shaft of light, and it flashes. It literally flashes all across the horizon. It's just stunning when it happens. And you're not going to see it all the time. It's an extremely rare occurrence to actually catch it. And that's why I had gotten this one, excuse me, on film. Instead, we got a really pretty sunset on the beach. And I never have heard, I've lived here on the Oregon coast. The green flash is extremely rare occurrence. It's an optical occurrence. And so, but I do know when they did the movie, it features in the second Pirates of the Caribbean movie. So if you see that and you see what they do, the Hollywood portrayal of that green flash, very accurate. But it was very strange to us when they mentioned that a soul comes back from the other side. So I thought that was kind of crazy. But at the same time, it's like this, a lot of say goodbyes. Hi, Sandra Dell. How are you? Happy New Year. Well, I knew. Yeah, the new fire year is barreling in. I am hopeful that people are able to hear me because it's been a little strange on my end. More than a little strange. In fact, I haven't been able to do really anything on my end as far as recording or being on here. Um, like I said, I've been on kind of my own journey as well. So a lot of traveling, a lot, and a lot of tackling farm stuff and eating of you, obviously, because I recorded a whole bunch of stuff. So let's remove that one, and whoop, I got really, really big. Over here. There we go. Yay! Yay! There we go. So we do some Lemurian stuff here, and that was the other one too. That I noticed there was a lot of whenever I went through and I was working because I the Lemurian stuff that I've been working on. There have been yeah, it been a recluse exactly, and that's just it. It's been a lot of the universe saying, "No, gal, you're going to have a timeout here," and being colored and yanked aside. And I've been doing a lot of internal working with the Lemurian languaging, but it has been Hawaiian Lemurian languaging and doing some internal uh, energy work as well and integrating. So a lot of integrating. And so this month, I will say for us, people that are following the Lemurian astrology from March 1st through the 28th, that is the Lemurian sign of Honu. Honu is, of course, the sign of the sea turtle. And so the essence for us for this month is the navigation. So we've got our little sea turtle. I do have cards pulled for the Lemurian astrology, but I wasn't sure um, how well I was going to be able to be heard. So I didn't know if people wanted me to show the cards and do the Lemurian astrology or just kind of pass on it and we just sit here and chat a little bit. You would not believe the crazy sounds I have outside. The logging industry has been off the charts. I don't know who's got the logging thing going on right now, but we have had nonstop logging trucks, and some of these loggers either do not know the area or they just don't know how to drive a logging truck. They're going way too fast for double-loaded logging trucks. Oh, that's so sweet. So Paul, for Sandra, since you just joined in, Paul's just lost his his puppy. He's had Holly since she's little, and she's been part of his life for 15 years. And so she's passed over. But Mark last night, I can't remember what Mark's channel is called. I know he deals with Pam, but for the life of me, I can't remember his channel off the top of my head. But he said he in the dream surprised me. Saw Holly jumping over the clouds and flying, and they got to play ball for a little while. Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm a complete mess. And you're saying I've cried for weeks after my pets have passed away. I remember how it feels. It's horrible. And usually each death is different, but I end up just dragging around a roll of toilet paper because honestly, I'll just burst out crying. I'll cry, and I don't do Hollywood crying. It's terrible. It's snot tears, and but once it has abated, it can be triggered for a while afterwards too. So it takes the time that it takes, and you'll go through stages. You'll go through grief first, obviously. You don't get like a ton of bricks, but there's different stages of the grief. You'll go back through, and there's the whole review thing of did I do enough? Did we catch it in time? Was there anything further that I could have done? And of course, the guilt tripping if you've done something. And so it takes time to go through it. There is usually an anger stage where you're furious at if a vet was involved, maybe you feel like the vet didn't do something correctly, or you're furious at yourself, or you're furious at your spouse or somebody else that could have been around at the time. It takes time to work through that. And it takes time for your body and your energy system to integrate. It's tough when it's a childhood pet or someone like this long, because that's not just that pet leaving. It's also a chunk of your history leaving with it. So, yep, she said, not time yet. Yeah, yeah, we don't get that choice. Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, yay, yay, yay. The little Miss Holly is already sending you some love. You'll have to keep your eyes peeled. And that is perfect because um, a friend of mine, she's recently come into the same scenario where she had to say abruptly goodbye to her older pet and hello to the new pet. And I have to say, not to say, you need to honor the grief that's going to come around your old pet, and the new pet will never replace because they are their own person. But it was perfect for my friend because she was able to focus on the new baby, as it should be. Yeah. So it's that new renewing energy that's coming in for you as well. Oh, that reminds me. Paul, I wanted to ask. Oh, wow. Ah, ah, gonna be a border collie, huh? I hope you like long walks. I hope you like being very active. Because as a former pet groomer, I'm going to warn you, border collies need a job. They are a very high energy dog. They're amazing pets. They're extremely good at agility and obstacle courses and obedience training. And so, yeah, okay, Holly was. Okay, great, perfect. So you already know the breed. It's just I see people and they're like, "Wow, that's a great looking puppy," and they get it, and it's like, why is the puppy hurting everything? And why is she eating the couch? Because you're not doing enough. But you already know the breed. Very on. Beautiful. Okay, so a few weeks back, I wanted to share this. We had clouds appear, and they were they looked like tire tracks. Now, there is a natural cloud formation where sometimes the wind will hit the clouds and will cause this sort of strange tire track formation. However, these tire track formations were at a 90-degree angle to the coast, so that indicates that these are not Mother Nature. And, but I will say, following our strange clouds, we ended up with that video that was shot. It was an incredible sunset. It was clear that day, and that was probably the whole point of those weird clouds. You saw the same clouds. Yeah, they're strange. So if anybody's listening, and I do mean you, um, if you're gonna do that again, do it at a 90-degree angle to the release that you did the last time. It will look more natural and potentially blend in a little bit better. Just saying. Oh, Lordy. Anyways, the photo that you're seeing right now is one of my favorite beaches, and you're looking at some of the sea stacks. Those are the rock formations that are right off the coast of the Oregon coast. And that is uh, Governor McKenna Beach. Uh, I do have some other photos, but they didn't make it into the stack this time. So I will either release those on um, my posts or I will attempt to do another live. A lot of it just depends on what the sound quality is like on this because it's obviously been a little bit strange. In fact, I don't even know how this is going to work for this one. I mean, the sound quality on my last was so horrific. And I know it's down to right now, we are in the biggest interference possible. Everybody and their brother is all using the exact same Wi Fi signal. So it has been challenging, to say the least. And yeah, well, Brother Carl's probably going to be key. So I did not give, I am, for me, I am. Normally, we have rain all day, and that's exactly what we have here on the Oregon coast. And that was part of why I was taking these photos and these videos because normally in the wintertime, we have rain. We have storms that will come in. They're called atmospheric rivers, and they'll usually come in the wintertime. Week after week, we will have rain. And usually, what will happen is we will have bands of storms. They will clear for about a day or two to dry out just a little bit, and so that you can do your repairs. And then the next band of storms or round of storms comes through. And so normally for us, it's weeks after rain. We should be receiving anywhere from 95 to over 100 inches of rain on the Oregon coast. That's what we've traditionally had. Now we started off with a very normal, natural winter for December. And I thought, great, we're right on track. And then in January, we ended up with this enormous dry spell. And again, it was not normal. There was some sort of strange, and it's still out there, high pressure ridge that has been refusing to allow our stuff to land. And there's been something out there that has been causing, normally our winter rain, we will get it comes off of Hawaii for the most part. Sometimes we'll get stuff that'll come down from Alaska, but most of the time, no, it'll come off of Hawaii. So usually our stuff will be a little warmer, but normally for us, normally in Oregon for the coast, the rains start September, October usually, and by November we're usually in week after week of rain. And so for this, something's been monkeying with our natural flow, and we are definitely in a drought over here. Even our governor, what's her name, Katie Brown, Governor Katie Brown, even she had warned that we were in a drought over here. So I shall continue to do my best. We'll see if we can get the weather patterns to behave itself a little bit more. And yeah, this was a photo that was taken from that video that I just played. Highly unusual. And this was taken on the same day that those strange clouds, that weird cloud formation that looked like a tire track, that's what led to this. So, a little strange, a little different. And then after this happened, yes, I don't know if you guys got to see it, but I posted a short video. Actually, I think that was my very first short video. And we have a first for us. Now, these are calves. These are Roosevelt elk. And so these elk are in a herd that is not on my farm, but the original herd from them did come from my farm. And so the piebald indicates when you have splashes of white. And you'll see the white on this one's shoulder and leg. And I didn't see any really splash on the other side. These are both calves. So these are babies that are anywhere from 3 to 6 months old. No idea if that's going to be a cow or if that's going to turn out to be a little elk, bull elk. But they're pretty. And according to Google, because this is the first time I've seen one of those on the Oregon coast. According to Google, they'll pop up about once every 100,000 elk. And that's part of the reason I wanted the other elk in the photo so that you could compare side by side. And I know that the normal one, I didn't quite get all of it. Before it crosses over. Yeah, that's just it. There's been different flows. Ooh, that reminds me too. Sandra, did you guys get a big rain last week. Did you get one of the atmospheric rivers last week? Because we had something of a time split over here, or a timeline jump split over here. About 4 days back, I came across a weather report, and they were talking about how we had this atmospheric river come through, and it had destroyed a whole bunch of stuff on I-5. And they were talking about rock slides on I-5, and it's like, well, I don't know what reality you're in, because we didn't have any storms at all on the Oregon coast at all. And then to top it, I can't honestly think of any area in the I-5 corridor, especially around Eugene or Salem, that had rocks that could have slid onto the highway like that. So I don't know what timeline they're on, but a bit of a split. But yeah, you guys have probably had a steady winter over there. But I've noticed for Eastern Oregon, there's been a lot of snows that have come down either from Canada, or there's a very strange pattern that's been going weather-wise around Montana. That's like a backward hurricane, and precipitation just kind of appears, which is very strange. You get water coming in from a water source, an lake, an ocean. Very strange. Very, very strange. So, uh-oh. Yeah. Nope. Yeah. Well, hopefully that's a good way to do it. Um, don't put any pressure on it, because obviously they know where to go. But perhaps some of the more, um, some of the other parents can coach you through this. I can tell you exactly what my relatives would have done. They would have swung from the rafters, hung off your lower lip, beat you around the head, discovered what friend gave you that, and that would have been the end of it. But my relatives and my parents, we were in a different time era, and it was vitally important that you kept each and every brain cell that you possibly could get. And that's part of what's tough. Whenever you're a teenager, you tend to think that you're bulletproof and you're invincible and nothing can touch you. And yeah, that might happen to somebody else, but not to me. Yeah. So I don't know. For myself, I went along with the whole "don't do drugs" campaign, because I liked my brain cells. They wowed me with the science and basically walked me through. And yeah, your brain is still very much developing, especially for a male. It's going to continue to develop. You won't get the rest of the frontal cortex, which is the front of your brain, which controls higher emotions and emotional control. You won't actually have that mature for a male until they're around 24, 25 years old. And so it can take a little bit of convincing, and sometimes it does take probing, but that takes a village too. Um, yeah, good luck. And I know I had seen something somewhere where Liam, it sounded like Liam had potentially gone into the grief, the anger grief. So if he needs to do that, they have, I think my sister was telling me about, they have these things that are called smash rooms. And basically you pay. I don't know if there's any beds around Pennsylvania. She's in the Midwest. But basically you pay to go in there, and they have different things that you can potentially destroy. Um, Honestly, I don't know how they get around it with insurance, but um, plates to smash, things like that. So it's possible that maybe you could, go in there for a few minutes just to kind of let some of that out. But one of my favorite things is to just go and yell. And then the other thing is you can also take like a pillow or something and just let out your violence that way. I'm just saying, because he's younger and he does have a lot more energy. So yeah, yeah. saying. Usually we'll get the Hawaiian weather patterns, and I have been watching, and it has not been, other than in December, it finally was doing December. Um, so it it should have come. Usually our weather patterns vary from Hawaii. It'll come right off of Hawaii, sweep up the coast. Normally it'll come in through, land on different points, actually. Whenever we get the atmospheric rivers coming in, sometimes Washington State will have them, sometimes the Oregon coast will have them, and then sometimes we will do down in California, and it'll glide off to the south. But yeah, I'm inland 3 hours north of the Spokane, so Vancouver, you're yeah, that was just it. So you ever come to the USA at all? Paul, I live in the USA, so unless you're talking a different country, I actually live here with my hubby. We live on the Oregon coast. Yeah, we have a farm here. So I've always been here in the USA. So, oh, oh, that's kind of a scary thing to have in this place. Hopefully that has returned. I think that was the last time I was, yeah, that was last time. I just sit here with these little guys. That's kind of nice. I like the greenery. Well, I don't like the greenery that I have to chip away at. I'm having to move the fence, and boy, these little guys could actually be out there chipping away on that grass wrap like that. Woo! Oh, well, hopefully she got that sorted. That's really scary when that happens. And yeah, the weather patterns have been crazy over the Pacific Ocean. Oh, speaking of Lillian, this month the start date for Honu will be Wahoo, which is it'll be nice to travel again. I've been doing non-stop travel most of the month of December. No, end of December, most of the month of January, part of this month. Just wow, 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 wow. I've done more travel just in the last few months than I have done in years, which is a good thing. It's been fun for me. I've been visiting with friends, and able to visit, which has been it's been nice. I needed it. So, all right, gang. Do you want to hear some of the Lemurian codes, some of our usual coding, or you just want to hang out and chat? Looks like mostly just hanging out and chat. I do know that there's been some interesting little earthquake clusters in various places. Tonopah has been one of those places that has had some interesting little clusters of earthquakes, tremors. No idea what that's about. I'm sure we'll see in time. The other tremors that have been happening around the Ring of Fire for the Pacific has been behaving itself. There's been a few ruffles, but mostly it's been pretty good. Did you see trying to have? I did see that. Did you have any luck? Good luck with that. In BC, we have a virus killing. Oh, well, that's sad. That's going for everything. Is it the wasting disease or is it another one? Sad. Well, Paul, never say never. Very, very possible to have it happen. If it doesn't, for some reason, I'm sure you two can still enjoy your time together. But I do know for some families that's something that, yeah, are trying, absolutely. Good luck. Best of luck to you. Yeah, the wasting disease. The problem with the wasting disease, we've seen this in areas down here. It can be antibiotic, but and normally that's connected to like in Kentucky. And I know that they have released yet more elk in that area. And again, with the wasting disease, people don't like to hear it, but what needs to happen is that is a culling in order to get that back out of the herds themselves. You could potentially treat them with some silver, but I don't think they're going to do that on a large scale. Yep, absolutely. And Paul, um, I don't think it's just hopium for that because I've seen with Mother Nature where there's a will, there's a way. And sometimes I've seen people that have relaxed into it and thought, well, no, maybe not. And then all of a sudden they're blessed. And I have seen other couples that have kind of really upset themselves and they've been hyper focused on it. And I think in those instances, that's not healthy. That's why I was saying, mostly if you can, enjoy yourselves together. And then if the little blessing happens, then that's the cherry on top. If not, it's important that your relationship still be your relationship with each other, that it's not just hinged upon having the baby. Yeah, my daughter-in-law's youngest brother sets up cameras in the forest. They've been keeping track of it. Yeah, occasionally, knock on wood in our area, sometimes they will get, it's, it's a disease called thrush in the foot. Um, and so they'll get like a foot rot basically, because normally we have so much water here on the coast. But other than that, knock on wood, most of our elk have been healthy. Now, I will say that they do need to. We've got a vote coming up later this year. Some very misguided people that do not understand how wildlife works have decided on the Oregon ballot that they want to do away with hunting and fishing, which is about the dumbest thing that I've ever heard. Because even though these little guys in front of you are cute, every 9 months that population doubles. And if you do not get in there and maintain the volume of animals, what will happen is they will run out of resources. And that leads to diseases. That also leads to starvation. I know, right? It's 1 o'clock. It's about 10 after 1 here. So yeah, if you're on the East Coast, that's three hours I think ahead of me. And that's just it. You've got people that, like I said, they're in the city. They don't know how these animals work. They especially don't know how they work in the wild. I mean, at first they're all, Andy, well, that's all fine and good, but yeah, we've upset the balance of the animal. So no, they do need to be hunted. And there again, same thing. They keep releasing wolves into the wild here. That would be fine if it was a timber wolf, but you're releasing the wrong animal. You've released a whole bunch of Canadian wolves and decided that was a-okay. No. And now they're shocked that the wolves are gee whiz, killing everything, not actually eating anything, just doing it for the fun of it, and also going after cattle. So, ugh. Anybody that lives in these areas could have told you that no, we're the people that are just meanies, and it's like no, you just don't know how an animal works. And there's, you know, all of us are ignorant at certain points. Mm, not really. They're attempting to, and this is just it. In some cases, like I said, they're trying to reintroduce a quote, quote, balance. However, if you have wolves in an area, what's going to happen? And they've released, for anybody that doesn't know, they've done these reintroductions in the 90s. They reintroduced a bunch of wolves into Oregon, and they have, of course, come to the Oregon coast. They have gone into the I-5 corridor. My favorite is whenever we're gaslit, and oh, no, they don't exist there. Sure. And then, like I said, I would have been happier if it had been timber wolves, not Canadian wolves, because Canadian wolf is much larger, and so it needs a lot more food. But some of the things that they don't understand about the wolves is that they will go on a sporting spree, we'll put it that way, for the safety of YouTube, and they don't care. They're just having fun. They're an animal doing what an animal's going to do. Take a look at the state of Wyoming. They were stunned whenever it completely wiped out. And yes, I'm laughing. Entire hundreds of elk, and they just did it to do it. So, yeah, yeah, yeah. So, like I said, if they had reintroduced the timber wolves instead, I think that the damage would have been a lot less, and I think that the impact actually would have been a lot less. And what's sad is the timber wolves themselves are still endangered, to my knowledge. They reintroduced the wrong subspecies, and so while they're patting themselves on the back with the reintroduction, they've actually, instead of improving what they were supposed to do, I think they have upset it terribly. Wow, I can't believe that. So according to Paul, it's been 3 years. Are you serious? I thought it's only been 2 years. Oh, wow. Yeah, a lot of a lot of journeys, a lot of travels. Actually, it's been really cool because Paul, you've been growing a lot. I know when we first met, you were dabbling with a whole bunch of different things. You had all kinds, you know, you had all kinds of experiences with ghosts. You've been doing telekinesis. Um, your new gal has done all kinds of things with the moon, Venus. So you've gone from galactics to ghosts to UFOs. It's been fun. And yeah, everything's going to speed up this year. Yeah, I don't have the photo of. I'll have to post that later. I'll have to do that on a different. I'll have to do that on a different live chat later. But yeah, I've got a photo from where I saw my first sea otters, 5 sea otters, and that was off the Oregon coast, much further down. But it was just a couple of years back that somebody else had spotted sea otters just off of the Oregon coast up here in Cannon Beach. Of course, first our fish and wildlife were like, no. Until they sent them the video, it's like, yes, maybe you need to get out of your desk office and come looky looky. And so they did. Yeah, it's an animal, and that's just it too. Some of the trouble that they're having with the stuff. It's an animal. They don't carry maps. They don't have compasses. They're going to go wherever they want to go. And so I can't tell you how many times I've talked to one of the conservancy people, and they're like, you don't know what you're talking about. We don't have wolves here. Yeah, you do. That was back in the early 90s. I watched a wolf hunt one of the black-tailed deer into the surf down in Florence, Oregon. So that's fair here. Thank you very much. Do I eat chili? Sure. Not a huge chili, but I do eat chili. Yeah, she is. And see, some of this I think is just great because you two can really play off of each other and expand what you're doing psychically. You know, your gifts and everything, your energy and everything. It's gonna be fun to see. And if you get a little one out of the mix, that'll be even more fun. But like I said, that would be the cherry on top. It's not really the absolute end all be all. You don't have to, but it would be okay, gang. Well, I'm just about ready to head on out of here. So we're going to go ahead and close with just a little bit of Lemurian coding because I've noticed that there has been some energy that has crept in. Not for us really per se, but just a little bit on top. So we'll just go ahead and just do a little bit here. Tihe, Mori, Oro, Mahaka wa Tahit, Ingwa, to Irita o Ottawa. Why you kapu? Ita Ingwa, to Fumi, Rani, Tao. Why you kapu? Ita Ingwa, Fire, Tum, Twitatum. Why you kapu? Tihe, Mori, Oro, it, mm, 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 oh. Uwe, o, f, tana, f, nu, f, ma, il, I, hakta, toro, poteki, tu, kaki, ma, kaki, ka, naro, hawa, tu, taki, ma, taki, ka, tai, tu, te, hu, u. Okay, we're going to do one more session, and that is going to go through, yeah, we're going to go through using Tukupenga Maui, which is the Meta Maui, and we're going to go through the Lemurian days. Tukupenga Maui, sa, Tukupenga Maui, toho, Tukupenga Maui, tita, Tukupenga Maui, wipata, Tukupenga Maui, maki, Tukupenga Maui, rehu, Tukupenga Maui, ta, Tukupenga Maui, ta, Tukupenga Maui, rehu, Tukupenga Maui, maki, Tukupenga Maui, wipata, Tukupenga Maui, tita, Tukupenga Maui, toho, Tukupenga Maui, sa. There we go. Beautiful. Yeah, sometimes it's just a little bit of energy movement that needs to happen. And I love the Lemurian light cutting simply because it's a technology that works, it stands on its own, and will work with, uh, it works with your energy field, and it works with the not just your, well, it works on several different levels, and it will work on your internal, your own energy field, and also your environment and the field around you. So yeah, as Sandra's saying, stay safe and keep sharing and keep shining. And yeah, wahoo! Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so, so much for being here today. And especially big help to everybody for coming in and checking and helping me to make sure that the volume and everything still works and that you can even hear me. So yeah, yeah. Okay, everybody, have a great day and a great rest of the week, and potentially rest of the month. I don't know when I'm going to be able to hop in here again. So just stay safe, everybody. Wawa nui. Wawa.